Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. We are going to be doing a little project, a small project today, and a review of a new tool that I recently picked up from Harbor Freight. This is the Hercules heat gun. It is retail $49.99, so just under $50. And I only got it because it was on clearance. I wouldn't have regularly just bought this, even though it is kind of cool having a heat gun that is portable like this. So it's pretty handy to have something that's portable instead of something that's generally corded. I wouldn't have bought this for $50. I did see it on the clearance rack. Someone had returned it and it was only 30 bucks. So I pulled the trigger because why not? It was only $30, and the project that we're going to be doing today, I actually have been planning on doing it for a while, and I was just going to use the heat gun that I have, which is a corded one from Walmart or something like that. And I saw this cordless one, and I thought, hey, this would be a great thing to, to have, and it was cheap, and I would, be able to show you guys it. So it does claim that it can get up to 905 degrees. I don't know how accurate that is. I do have this really cheap Amazon infrared thermometer that I tried to use on it, but the highest temperature that I was able to read, and I was shooting this metal surround, was like around 680 to 690 degrees. I was having a really hard time with shooting directly into the heating element. It just didn't seem to want to read very well with this thing. I was only getting like 200 to 300 degrees when I was shooting in the heating element, which really doesn't make any sense. So I'm assuming that if the outer surround was like almost 700 degrees, then the actual heat coming directly from the heating element is probably pretty close to that 900 degrees that it claims. Some of the features on it does have this really awesome safety feature that on both sides of the handle, there's a kind of safety selector that it has to be depressed on either side, so it's ambidextrous. If you're left-handed or right-handed, this will work for you. You do have to press it in to actually press in the trigger. You cannot press in the trigger. See, I'm trying to press it in now. You cannot press it in if you do not have one side or the other depressed. So that's a really awesome safety feature, because if you did have this in your truck or in your vehicle or just in your shop and you sat it down and you set it on the trigger, you wouldn't accidentally start a fire. So that's a really awesome safety feature. It does have this cool little hook, so if you need to hook this on your work belt, if you were at a job site or at work or something, you could put this on, put it on a tool car or something like that. It does also have this, I'm not sure what this is for, so if someone in the comments knows what this is, please put it down there, because I have absolutely no idea. It has this piece that moves back and forth in the front, and it's like a piece of plastic, and then it's got a shroud inside of there to protect it from the heating element. But I don't know what it's for. I don't understand really what this is for. So if somebody knows what it's for, that would be awesome. I'd love for you to tell me. But anyway, I'm going to get outside and I'm going to start on this project, and I'll meet you guys back here with my conclusions on this. So here's the truck that we are going to be working on today. See these old faded vinyl, this vinyl trim that was put on from the factory. All of the 4th gen Rams had this, and mine's, as you can see, it's coming apart. It's been kind of coming apart for a while, and it's faded and it's just ugly, and underneath we've got nice paint. So we're going to be removing these.
Here you go.
Thanks, baby. Can you hand it to me? The first thing we have to do is get our icon meme tool, which I actually use all of the time. So I don't really think it's much of a meme tool because with how much I use it, it's pretty damn useful to me. And I feel like memes are jokes, right? So get our meme tool here. And we need to remove this screw right here on the pillar. See if I can do this without. Nope. We're gonna have to use our ratchet. So we're just gonna take out these screws. And what that does is it releases this piece of trim right here so that we can get in behind and get this vinyl that's behind here. Yeah, so the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to take our Hercules heat gun here and we're going to start just heating up this vinyl and slowly removing it. So I'm just gonna start going. Anytime you're using a heat gun, you want to make sure that you're not getting super close to whatever you're heating up. So I decided to do a little time lapse here. I didn't think you guys would want to sit and watch me for 10 minutes struggling to remove this vinyl. It was super dried and sun damaged, and it was just basically flaking off. I couldn't get more than a quarter size piece at a time. It was pretty obnoxious to remove it, and it took way longer than it should have. Yeah. So something pretty interesting just happened. The battery actually died. I was using a 2 amp hour Hercules 20 volt, and I only used this for around 10 minutes or so, but I was using it almost constantly, but it did actually die. I didn't check. I should have checked what the battery percentage was before I started, to make sure that it was full. I'm not sure if that battery was full, but if it was, that's still pretty good for a 2 amp hour battery, but that just shows you how much juice this thing uses. So I went and I grabbed one of my 4 amp hour 20 volts. So, and this is fully charged. I don't know if you can see that, but it is fully charged. So we'll see how much more of this I can get done with this. So that may be an issue with this, is just if you're going to be using it a lot, you know, you may need a bigger battery. So yeah, well, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'll cut to once I've got all 4 sides done. Yeah, so I got this side done. That took way longer than I expected it to take. The vinyl was so sun damaged and so brittle that I could barely take off more than like a quarter at a little quarter size piece at a time without it just ripping off. This did seem to heat up really well, and it was able to loosen all of it. There was a lot of residual adhesive left over, and so I did end up using this Goof Off Pro Strength Remover. I did test on a little spot on my paint to make sure it wasn't going to damage my paint before I use it. So if you're doing a similar project, make sure that and you're using this product to get off any adhesive, make sure that you're going to test it in a little spot to make sure it doesn't damage your paint. Hey, baby. Sorry about that. My daughter was calling for me. So anyway, so it did actually, so it took me about 45 minutes to an hour to do this, just this one side. Like I said, it took way longer than I thought it was going to take. I did go through that 4 amp hour battery. It took about 30 minutes of continuous use for me to go through that. So I ended up having to grab my 8 amp hour battery, and then I used it for another probably 20-30 minutes, and I don't know if you can see that, but it still has a full charge on it. So yeah, I'll give you my final thoughts on this, and I'll let you know what I think about it. Well, that was fun. So thank you guys for sticking with me out there. I know I didn't get the whole project done like I wanted to today, but we just ran out of time. The sun was setting, and that kind of sucks, but whatever. So I did want to, before I give you my final thoughts on this thing, I did want to highlight all the tools that I used. I use this panel removal, trim removal tool. I don't think that I got this from Harbor Freight. I'm not even sure where I got this. I've just had it for years and years and years. Maybe it was Walmart or something like that, but works good, and I've had it a long time, and it was to get a retaining clip out of one of the pillars, the pillar in the rear, on the rear door. I used one of these little Pittsburgh cheapy picks. You can get a set of these for like a few bucks, and I always keep one or two of these in my truck just in case I ever do need a pick for any reason. I did use the Quinn pistol grip pliers to get the vinyl that was behind the pillars. It was basically impossible for me to get my fingers back there, so that's what I used this pick for, to get it started, and then I would grab it with these pistol grips, and they actually did a really good job. I haven't actually used these before. I just got them recently with the Quinn sale, where everything was 30% off, or what was it, 25 or 30% off of the Quinn stuff. So I did recently get these, and I really like them, so that's my first time using these, so those were cool. I did use the meme tool. I use this thing all the time. I love this thing. It's such a nice little set. It's it has almost everything that you need besides sockets, and at some point they are going to release the 2.0 version that does have sockets. But I use this thing all the time, and anytime I'm just unscrewing a few things, I'll use this instead of one of my drills. We did have 3 different Hercules batteries that we ended up using. We used the 2 amp hour, the 4 amp hour, and the 8 amp hour. And then we used this goof off Pro Strength remover to get all that excess adhesive off. So my final rating, I would give this tool probably an 8 out of 10. I do think that it has some shortcomings with the battery life. If you were going to be using this for a job, and I really don't know what types of jobs where you would need a heat gun on you at all times, probably something like vinyl wrapping, or maybe window tint or something like that, where you would need a heat gun on you at all times. I think that with an 8 amp hour battery, you could probably get 2 hours of almost continuous use out of it. Maybe even a little bit longer than that. I did use the 8 amp hour for probably about 20-ish minutes, and it has not used up any of the power bar. It still has a full charge, or it's showing a full charge. So that's one really good thing. So you will need probably a larger battery if you're going to be using this for an extended period of time. Now, if you're just going to be using this for a few minutes here or there, or you just do small projects where you're going to need a heat gun, you can get away with a smaller battery like the 4 or the 2 amp hour. But if you're going to be using this for anything longer than, I would say, an hour at a time, at minimum, you're probably going to need a 5 amp hour. And I think that a 5 amp hour would maybe get you an hour to an hour and a half of almost continuous use. I do like that it has the safety features that it does have. it basically makes it to where it's impossible for it to be used without you being purposefully making it turn on. It also does, whenever you release the trigger after you've been using it, it does continue to run for about 15 to 20 seconds, and that's cooling it down. The fan continues to run and it cools it down. So that's also really cool too. It's not just, as soon as on a normal one where you would generally let off the trigger, it would just shut off immediately, and then you've got this piping hot metal surround on the heat gun. It is lightweight, but when you're having to use an 8 amp hour battery, that kind of defeats the purpose, because that battery is kind of bulky. It is a niche tool. I personally would not have bought it if it wasn't on clearance. I did buy it because it was pretty much half price. And, I don't use a heat gun too often. It's kind of something I just need here and there. And so I do have a corded heat gun that I've been using for years, and it always gets the job done, and I don't use it enough to where I would justify needing to buy something like this. But I saw this on sale, and I do have, other Hercules tools and a lot of their 20-volt stuff, their other power tools. So I was like, why the heck not? Only $30. I'm going to get it. So I would recommend it. Like I said, I think that you could do anything with a corded heat gun that you could do with this thing. And for that, to me, is all that matters. That you can actually use it for what you're using it for. The battery life is a limiting thing, but at the same time, I think that if you have a larger battery, or you're just using it here and there like a normal person would typically be using it, you can probably get away with a smaller battery. Thank you so much for watching this today. I really appreciate you being here. And I have a lot of Harbor Freight tools. I love Harbor Freight. I think it's an awesome company. I love the employees. And I'm going to be continuing to make content like this. And if you enjoy this, I would really hope that you'll like and subscribe. At some point, I hope that the channel gets large enough to where I can start doing some giveaways, because I do have some extra tools and stuff lying around that it would be awesome for me to give out to some of my viewers. So that's down the road, though. I hope that we can just grow this channel. And if you have any suggestions for a video or any kind of tools that you want highlighted, leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to, if I do have them, I will try to make a video sometime in the future about them. I'm going to be trying to make at least 1 to 2 videos per week, just highlighting different tools that I have from Harbor Freight, whether that be hand tools from their Quinn line or Icon tools. I do have quite a few of the specialty Icon tools, like their new ball joint press and their master puller kit. I'm hoping to do a video on the ball joint press here pretty soon. I actually have a friend who I'm going to be doing ball joints on his vehicle here pretty soon, and so I'm going to have an opportunity to use that. And I'm definitely going to make a video about that, because I've been waiting almost a year for that thing to come out. Since I saw it at SEMA, I've just been chopping at the bits for that thing to come out. And it's really awesome. It's beefy. I haven't had a chance to use it, but it looks like it can get the job done. So if you like this content, like I said, like and subscribe. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. I totally forgot to put a before and after, but here it is. Let me know what you guys think about how it looks.